Okay guys, this is your host Ron J with CCE2. We're here with Eric Timmons, candidate for County Commissioner of Jefferson County, Ohio.
Thank you for the invite this morning, Ron.
No problem.
Appreciate it very much.
No problem. I appreciate you coming down, and I appreciate you being on the show.
I'm Eric Timmons, running for County Commissioner. I currently live in Steubenville, Ohio. I'm a city councilman there. I've been city councilman for 6 years. Also have a wife and a 3-year-old daughter in Steubenville, so I'm lucky. My parents live there. We've been in the area since 1981. We moved from Belmont County. But we've made this our home. I'm lucky, like I said, my brother still lives here with his wife, my niece and nephew. So we're one of the lucky ones. That's one of the big things I'm running on. We need to keep our talented individuals in Jefferson County once they graduate high school.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I completely agree. Now, I know one thing that many people have asked me personally, and I have answered that you are definitely a Jefferson County first regular citizen candidate who is tired of career politicians, and you want to make a change to Jefferson County. How do you think you can do that?
Like you said, I'm not a career politician. I'm anything, far from that. Like I said, got involved with city council, and I've really enjoyed that. I went through some of my 20s, part of my 30s, not really having any goal, not knowing what I wanted to do. I'm a banker. That's my professional career. But I got involved. I decided I had had enough. They were trying to do RETA tax in Steubenville. I was against that. But wanted to get involved. I didn't want to be one of those people that always complains but really never does anything. So, but I've had a lot of success at it. It's been great. I feel like this is my calling. So I want to keep this up and continue to be a part of it and do this kind of stuff.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm glad we got you on board, and that I got somebody like you that we can put our support behind. I
appreciate that. And driving down here, I was thinking of what this would be and what we would talk about. And like I said, I'm not a career politician, so all this is
right.
New to me, and I'm enjoying it very much. Love getting out to the different communities. My family, like I said, was from Barnesville, Ohio, farming. My grandfather was a farmer. I know the small town living, and I love that.
Right, that's awesome. So you have a general, a real feel on the communities throughout the county.
Yeah, I think people go into situations, it's my way or the highway type of mentality.
Right.
I need to see what you got. What are your issues? I look at it as I'm a representative. I'm not, I need to know what your feelings are. I'm not going to get reelected.
That's amazing.
And I really do try to get to these places and listen. With the Steubenville residents, I listen to what they say. I get calls from people that aren't even my ward. Hey, can you take care of this? You seem to get things done. We take a lot of slack. We get some grief, but when something like that happens, those calls, hey Eric, you really took care of this for me. That's what it's all about. And it's not just me. You'll hear me. You'll see. I'll say we a lot. A lot of other politicians. I did this. I did that. We're not going to get this done alone. It's going to take all of us. And I say, I couldn't do it without Steubenville department heads that take care of these kind of things. It makes me look good. But I appreciate everybody working together. We're gonna succeed, and I do believe Jefferson County's best days are ahead.
All right, Eric. So, as you know, and as many people know, the opioid and drug crisis across the state is terrible, especially in our county, in the southern end of the county. Is there anything that you might want to say about that?
Absolutely. Steubenville. My ward. Half of it is on Laybell, on the hilltop, and we have our drug issues up there. I ask the citizens always call me. If there are citizens, they're afraid to report these individuals. I'm not.
Right.
I have no worries about them, and I like to report them. I'd like to turn them in.
Absolutely.
We need to clean up the streets. Now on the other end, I used to be someone that thought throw people in jail when they're on drugs. But like anything, you evolve, you learn, you see what's really happening, and people need rehabilitation, and they need to build their skills. We need to do that to them, or we're going to continue with these terrible problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I've noticed is most times when it comes to drug offenses and people who are addicted, jail a lot of times makes it worse for them, makes them worse off, and they tend to want to fall back on drugs because they were in jail.
Yeah.
I think the main thing that could happen is that we try to get them as much help
Absolutely.
as possible.
I think they need to do their sentence, whatever the crime they committed.
Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
your time. However, after that, there does need to be some
Yes.
rehabilitation to make them a productive member of society.
Yes, absolutely.
I do believe that, and it is something our county faces. This whole area, the Ohio Valley here, it's a big problem, and we need to get that under control.
Now, Eric, is there anything you think that can be done about this drug issue in Jefferson County, aside from rehabilitation and things like that?
Education. Obviously, we have a lot, and I've worked with them in the past, been to seminars. There are a lot of things we can do, and to educate our young people, that's where it starts. And as they get older, realize the impact of drugs and what it's going to do to our society. And that's big. Education. Holding doctors accountable that are prescribing medications that get people hooked on painkillers, and then when they can't get those, they
Right.
turn to stronger stuff. So we need to hold them accountable as well.
Okay.
And I also think, let me say, that we need the cooperation from all the courts. I do see a good job of that here in Jefferson County. I really do. But elsewhere, we need that to make it all happen.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing that I can't help but think about, with all this in mind that we're talking about, now throughout the county, and I don't know about up the northern end of Jefferson County, but here in the southern end, several communities have voted to recreationally legalize marijuana. How do you think that would affect the county, if at all?
I think it affects the county. Absolutely, it does. It affects all of us. That's why it's so important to elect the right people, because you're going to have these situations.
Yes.
I'm fine. I think medical marijuana, I've spoken about that. I think, whatever's going to make somebody feel better that's terminally ill, I have no problem with that. Now, as you get into the recreational use, I do worry about that a bit. It's also with anything. You look at how far are we willing to go with some of this craziness about different genders and people identifying different. You hear the stories about people identifying as animals.
Yeah.
How far are we willing to go with some of this? I get concerned at that point. I don't think, I'm a big believer that biological males shouldn't be playing women's sports.
That's absolutely
to
right.
me, that makes sense. But a lot of people out there, that's why I think it's important who we elect, get into office with those kind of ideals. And this isn't just on a local level, state level. This is on a national level. We need to get our candidates in there.
Absolutely. And another aspect to all this is the fact that Rayland, Ohio, in Jefferson County here in the southern end, has been without police protection for over 12 years.
Yeah.
And I believe that leads significantly to the drug problem that we have here in the southern end of the county. They say, okay, there's no police here, so we can operate. How do you think that we can add police presence, or if we can?
That's something I think you definitely can. We can always do it.
Yes.
There's always a way to find it. That's something I would definitely look at. very much pro law enforcement. My cousin was a police officer in Colorado Springs. I rode along with her.
Amazing.
Very learned. You know, I like I said, that goes back to I want to be in the middle of it. You know, when I first got on council, I rode around with the sanitation department. I have a lot of respect for those guys. I couldn't do it. After 4 hours, I couldn't do it, and I went back to my bank office and kissed the desk. Those guys have a lot of respect. But I did. I went and ride along with Steubenville police. You know, you have to be in there and get a feel. You're going to be making decisions that affect them. You need to feel this. So I'll be doing the same thing when I'm elected commissioner. I'll be going to the different departments and
That's awesome.
and seeing what a day's like in their life. But back to the police here, you know, we need it. And like you said, with this being a hotbed for the drug activity, we need law enforcement. So I would look into that and you know, find out what the local officials, what their plans are with it, and then we can go from there. Communication's a lot, and I think we do lack communication in the county in some aspects.
We wanted to ask you how you feel about protecting our elections in Jefferson County and the integrity of our elections in the county and throughout the state, which really does affect us here too.
Yeah, I have, you know, I lived in Columbus for a time, and I remember I went to vote. It was the John Kerry Bush election. Went to vote there, and somebody had already signed for me and voted for me.
Oh, wow.
So it does hit home for me. It's happened to me. You know, I'm fine with 2 forms of ID.
Right.
You know, whatever it takes. I want that to be my vote. And there's been evidence that you know, there's been some mistakes made, and I'm very much supportive of voter ID and laws like that ensure votes. You know, I see there was a bill out there they're trying to make illegals
Right.
able to vote in our elections. I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me at all. Would I
No,
be
it
able
does
to
not.
vote in another country?
Yeah.
It just,
Exactly.
it's lunacy to me. So, yeah, I am very much in favor of voter IDs.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, well, I think we're running out of time here, guys. Is there anything you would like to add, anything you would like to say to the people of Jefferson County?
No, I'm just campaigning very hard. I'm out there. You know, that's what I'll be. You know, I will be there in person. I want my phone to always be open. That's the way I handle it in Steubenville, and that's the way I believe your elected officials should be. You know, a lot of people make promises. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There are things I would like to see. I'd like to see our infrastructure better. Like I'd like to see our drug problem curtailed. But I'd also, you know, I can't make any promises. I would never do that, except that I'll be there for you when I get a phone call. You know, and you can predict what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, I'm going to take these issues one at a time as they come through, and handle them.
Well, you know, that's what we need. We need a fighter. We need a real person in there like you. And, you know, guys, this is the man to vote for right here. Eric Timmons for Jefferson County Commissioner 2022.
I appreciate the time, Ryan.
Thank you,
very
Eric.
much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.